Breaking. Prince William just shattered 7 decades of royal protocol with 13 words that sent Keir Starmer into complete meltdown. The future king looked straight into the camera and declared something so devastating that Labour MPs are already plotting emergency meetings. 3 cabinet ministers have gone dark, Westminster is in chaos, and what happened next proves the monarchy isn't going down without a fight. If you want to see how Britain's biggest constitutional crisis in 300 years explodes, hit that subscribe button right now because this changes everything. Here's what sparked the royal rebellion. Yesterday at 4:47 p.m, Starmer crossed a line no Prime Minister has dared cross since Oliver Cromwell. During Prime Minister's questions, he actually suggested Parliament should review the civil list, the money that funds the monarchy. His exact words were chilling. Perhaps it's time we examined whether medieval institutions deserve modern taxpayer support. But Prince William wasn't having it. The heir to the throne did something unprecedented. He cancelled a charity engagement mid-event and drove straight to Broadcasting House. Nobody expected what came next. Standing outside BBC headquarters, Prince William delivered a statement that will be studied for centuries. His hands steady. His voice controlled but unmistakably furious, he spoke directly to the British people. The monarchy has served this nation for 1,000 years. We've survived tyrants, wars, and revolutions. We will not be bullied by politicians who confuse temporary power with permanent authority. The crown answers to the people, not to number 10. 13 words that changed everything. We will not be bullied by politicians who confuse temporary power with permanent authority. Royal correspondents gasped. Constitutional experts called it nuclear. One senior palace aide texted simply, "William just declared war." The prince wasn't finished. "My grandmother devoted 70 years to service. My father continues that sacred duty. And when my time comes, I will defend this institution against anyone who threatens Britain's constitutional foundation." The cameras caught Starmer watching from Downing Street. Witnesses say his face went white, then red, then something darker. The Prime Minister, who thought he could push around the royals, had just discovered the Windsors push back. The footage went viral within minutes. TikTok exploded with clips of William's statement set to dramatic music. Instagram stories flooded with Union Jack emojis and crown symbols. Even Gen Z, typically indifferent to royal affairs, rallied behind the young prince. A 2-year-old Manchester student's tweet summed it up. William just became the main character of Britain, but the most devastating response came from unexpected quarters. Lord Stevens, the former Met Police Commissioner, broke his usual silence. "In my 40 years serving the Crown, I've never seen such a necessary defence of our Constitution." The Prince spoke for millions. Military chiefs privately expressed support. 3 former Prime Ministers, including Theresa May and Boris Johnson, issued statements backing William within the hour. Even Gordon Brown, hardly a monarchist, called Starmer's attack profoundly misjudged. The speed of the establishment's response revealed something crucial. The entire British power structure was turning against Starmer. This wasn't just bad politics, it was institutional suicide. Meanwhile, British veterans who served under the Queen's colours are watching their benefits slashed, while Starmer's government pumps billions into failed green schemes. Jim Patterson, 73, a Falklands veteran living on £900 a month, can't afford heating this winter. His local Legion Hall, where veterans gathered for 60 years, closed last month due to funding cuts. "I fought for Queen and country," he said, tears in his eyes. "Now they attack the Queen's memory while we freeze." While Patterson shivers, Starmer's advisors enjoy £200,000 salaries and heated offices. Ed Miliband's climate department alone spent £3.2 million on consultants last quarter. The same government claiming the monarchy costs too much just approved £47 million for diversity training across Whitehall. But it gets worse. In Portsmouth, the Royal Naval Association charity shop, run by 82-year-old widow Mary Henderson, received an eviction notice last week. The building's being converted into luxury flats for asylum seekers, fully funded by the Home Office at £2,800 per month per unit. Mary's husband died serving on HMS Sheffield. She volunteers 60 hours a week helping naval families. "They're destroying everything that makes Britain British," she whispered, holding her husband's service medals. "The Queen visited us here in 1992. She remembered my husband's name. Has Starmer ever remembered anyone who served? In Birmingham, The Royal British Legion cancelled its Remembrance Sunday parade due to funding cuts. The same week, Birmingham Council approved £800,000 for a decolonisation awareness festival. Veterans who planned to march for fallen comrades watched as their tradition died while progressive causes flourished. We're talking about priorities so twisted, so insulting that even moderate Labour MPs are disgusted. Sarah Miller, a Manchester nurse, put it perfectly. My patients wait 14 hours for emergency care while Starmer attacks the one institution that still makes Britain special. The royals visit our hospitals. Starmer just cuts their funding. The contrast is devastating. Working-class Britons choosing between heating and eating while progressive elites attack the symbols ordinary people cherish. It's not just politics anymore. It's class warfare disguised as modernisation. One Labour MP from a mining constituency admitted privately, "My constituents have photos of the Queen in their front rooms. They'll never forgive us for this. We've betrayed everything old Labour stood." Then something unprecedented happened that nobody saw coming. King Charles broke his legendary composure and summoned the Privy Council for an emergency session at Buckingham Palace. At 9 p.m. last night, black cars streamed through the palace gates. The Lord Chancellor, the Archbishop of Canterbury, senior judges, all arriving under cover of darkness. What happened inside that room remains officially secret, but palace insiders reveal the king delivered what one source called the speech of his reign. "Gentlemen," Charles reportedly began, his voice carrying centuries of authority, "the crown has weathered storms before. We've seen prime ministers come and go. But when they attack the institution itself, when they threaten the constitutional balance that keeps this nation stable, we must respond." The king then did something extraordinary. He produced a leather-bound volume, the original coronation oath from 1953. "My mother swore to govern according to law and custom. I swore the same." That oath supersedes any politician's ambition. Senior sources reveal Charles reminded the Council of precedents even constitutional experts had forgotten. The 1689 Bill of Rights, the 1701 Act of Settlement, documents that place the Crown above parliamentary manipulation. "The monarchy isn't Parliament's servant," Charles reportedly stated. "We are co-equal branches of government." Mr. Starmer seems to have forgotten his constitutional education. Lord Carlisle, the former terrorism watchdog, emerged from the meeting visibly shaken. "I've attended many Privy Councils. This was different. The king was magnificent. He reminded us why Britain has avoided revolution for 350 years. Another attendee, speaking anonymously, was more direct. Charles just put Starmer on notice. "The crown has powers everyone forgot existed. If pushed, they'll use them. Ancient powers dormant for decades but never abolished. The royal prerogative isn't just ceremony. In extreme circumstances, it's real power. The optics are catastrophic for Starmer. While he plays political games, the monarchy demonstrates why it survived a millennium. Within hours of William's statement, the dominoes started falling. Sterling dropped 3% against the dollar. FTSE futures plunged. International investors who value Britain's stability watched in horror as the government attacked its most stabilizing institution. Goldman Sachs issued an emergency note warning of unprecedented constitutional uncertainty. JP Morgan moved £2 billion out of UK holdings. The pound hit a 5-year low against the euro. Currency traders in Tokyo were selling sterling positions at record pace. One senior banker at Barclays texted, "This is Brexit-level chaos, but worse." At least Brexit had a plan. But the political earthquake was even more devastating. Conservative MPs who'd been silent suddenly found their voice. Sir Graham Brady reportedly called an emergency 1922 committee meeting where the mood was described as ecstatic. One senior Tory texted, "William just handed us the next election. Labour's implosion accelerated." 17 MPs from red wall seats signed a letter distancing themselves from Starmer's comments. The WhatsApp group Labour Future changed its name to Post-Starmer Planning. Polls conducted overnight showed catastrophic shifts. Labour dropped to 24%, their lowest since Jeremy Corbyn. The Tories surged to 31%. But here's the stunning part. Reform UK hit 27%. International reaction poured fuel on the fire. President Trump tweeted, "Crazy Starmer attacking the royal family. In America, we respect tradition. King Charles is a great man. William will be even greater. Labour is finished." Emmanuel Macron's office issued a statement praising Britain's constitutional monarchy as a pillar of European stability. Even Vladimir Putin couldn't resist, calling Starmer a man who doesn't understand the weight of history. The Commonwealth erupted. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, typically Republican-leaning, declared, "The Crown unites the Commonwealth. Attacks on it are attacks on us all." Canadian MPs from all parties signed a motion supporting the monarchy. New Zealand's Prime Minister called Starmer's comments deeply concerning for Commonwealth unity. India's largest newspaper ran the headline, "The Empire strikes back at Starmer." Nigel Farage, ever the opportunist, wrapped himself in the Union Jack and declared, "While Starmer attacks our king, Reform UK stands with the Crown." The political map is being redrawn in real time. Scotland's First Minister backed the monarchy. Northern Ireland's Unionists called Starmer a Republican traitor. Even the Welsh Labour leader refused to defend his own Prime Minister. Britain isn't just divided. It's realigning around an issue nobody expected, the Crown itself. Inside Number 10, sources describe complete pandemonium. Starmer allegedly threw a laptop against the wall after seeing William's statement. His communications director resigned on the spot, walking out mid-meeting. The Chief of Staff was overheard shouting, "This is a disaster. We look like we're attacking the nation itself." Emergency meetings erupted into screaming matches. Angela Rayner reportedly told Starmer, "You've lost the country. Step down before they force you out." Rachel Reeves has gone completely silent, refusing all media appearances. Her team is already drawing up economic plans for the transition period. The Chancellor preparing for a new Prime Minister. The leaked WhatsApp messages are even more devastating. In a group called Cabinet Emergency, Health Secretary Wes Streeting wrote, "This is insane. My constituents are calling me a traitor." Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson responded, "Mine too. We need to move against him now." The Justice Secretary simply wrote, "I'm out." Resignation letter drafted. Even Starmer's closest allies are abandoning ship. His former campaign manager sent a devastating text to political journalists, "I helped elect him, now I'm helping remove him." He's become toxic to everything Labour represents. Deputy Chief Whip texted the group, "I count 47 MPs ready to submit no confidence letters. We need 55. By tomorrow, we'll have them." The bunker mentality has set in. Starmer's inner circle has shrunk to just 3 people. Everyone else is either plotting against him or updating their CVs. One minister described the atmosphere as like the last days of Rome. The Prime Minister who thought he could take on the monarchy is discovering what happens when you attack a 1,000-year institution. You don't just lose the argument, you lose everything. But here's the revelation that could end Starmer's career forever. Leaked documents from a Labour strategy meeting 3 weeks ago show Starmer planned this attack on the monarchy for months. The papers, marked confidential, Republican transition, outline a 5-year plan to gradually reduce royal influence. Phase 1, question their funding. Phase 2, limit their constitutional role. Phase 3, referendum on the monarchy itself. The documents go further. They detail plans to remove the monarch from currency, strip royal patronages from charities, and eliminate the Prince of Wales title. One section, titled Managing Public Resistance, discusses using the BBC to reshape public perception of Republican values. Another suggests recruiting celebrities to normalise anti-monarchist sentiment. If these documents are real, and 3 separate sources confirm they are, then Starmer didn't just insult the king in anger. He declared war on the crown as official policy. Think about what that means. A sitting prime minister secretly plotting to abolish the monarchy while publicly praising it. The deception is breathtaking. The British people thought they elected a moderate Labour leader. Instead, they got a Republican revolutionary. The optics of that would be absolutely devastating. Working-class Labour voters who cherish the Queen's memory discovering their leader wants to destroy everything she represented. Outside Parliament, the streets tell their own story. Thousands gathered at Buckingham Palace last night, singing God Save the King until 3 a.m. The crowd wasn't your typical royal watchers. Truck drivers, nurses, teachers, pensioners, people who rarely protest but couldn't stay silent. "They've gone for our king," shouted Terry Williams, a London cabbie. "That's our red line. You don't touch the crown." In Liverpool, traditionally Labour heartland, 500 dock workers marched to the town hall demanding Starmer's resignation. Their banner read, "The Queen served. Starmer swerves." Manchester saw similar scenes. Newcastle, Birmingham, Leeds, all erupting in spontaneous displays of monarchist fury. Police estimated 200,000 people protested nationwide. The BBC barely covered it. Sky News called them far-right extremists. But these weren't extremists. They were ordinary Britons defending extraordinary tradition. Meanwhile, Rishi Sunak is positioning himself as the monarchy's defender. While Starmer implodes, Sunak stands beside Union Jacks, delivering statesman-like speeches about tradition and stability. The Conservative Party has always stood with the Crown, he declared yesterday. "We will never let Republican extremists destroy what makes Britain great." The contrast couldn't be starker. For the first time since losing the election, Sunak looks like a Prime Minister in waiting. Conservative MPs who wanted him gone are suddenly rallying behind him. The polls tell the story. Sunak's personal approval jumped 15 points in 48 hours. The Tories aren't just recovering, they're surging. One Conservative strategist called it Christmas in November. But it's Nigel Farage who might benefit most. Reform UK is hoovering up disgusted Labour voters who feel betrayed. Farage isn't just a protest vote anymore. He's becoming the voice of patriotic Britain. His message is simple and devastating. They attack our king, we defend him. They hate our history, we celebrate it. They despise Britain, we love it. Reform UK's membership system crashed last night from overwhelming demand. Local branches report lifetime Labour voters switching allegiance. In Barnsley, a former mining town that's been Labour since 1935, Reform UK just opened their third office. For the first time ever, bookmakers have Farage as third favourite to be next Prime Minister. The next 72 hours are critical. Parliament returns Monday for an emergency debate on the constitutional crisis. The King's speech, scheduled for next month, now looks impossible. How can Charles open Parliament for a Prime Minister who attacks the Crown? Tomorrow, Prince William visits flood victims in Yorkshire. Every handshake, every word, every gesture will be scrutinised. Can he maintain royal dignity while Starmer's government collapses? The question is no longer whether Starmer survives, it's whether Labour itself survives. This crisis will be studied for decades as the moment a Prime Minister destroyed his own government by attacking the institution that defines Britain. At its epicentre stands Keir Starmer, who looks increasingly isolated, delusional and finished. We're watching the end of a political career in real time. Not since Charles I has a leader so catastrophically misunderstood the British people's connection to their crown. The difference is, Charles I was the king. Starmer is just a politician who forgot that in Britain, the crown endures while prime ministers are temporary. So here's the question that matters. Can Starmer survive attacking the monarchy, or is Labour finished for a generation? Did Prince William just save the crown with those 13 words? Or did he accidentally trigger a constitutional crisis that could destroy everything? What do you think? Will Starmer resign before Christmas? Could William actually become the people's champion against political elites? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this story shocked you as much as it shocked us, share it with everyone who needs to see what's really happening in Britain right now. The mainstream media won't tell you the full truth, but we will. Tomorrow we're covering the secret meeting between William and military chiefs that has Downing Street in complete panic.